that background like that wallpaper? What is that in the background?
That is a like a scoreboard, like X's and O's, like for football plays or something like that.
Oh no, on Tim's. Like it looks like a diner.
So this was I own an ad agency, and we did an event for a client, Back to the Future event, and we wrapped the entire room with this giant graphic, which I took with me after the event. But this is the scene in the diner where it says, you know, "Kick me" on his back. So that's what hangs behind me. Yeah,
that is cool as shit.
Thanks.
He has the coolest office of all offices on the planet.
And a very cool tramp stamp as well. So you are back, and we are in the O freaking T. You know, we're in the O fucking T, baby. Our boy Wesley Wyatt, producer extraordinaire. We got Tim over here. Timmy Vivian Lord is with us today. Welcome back. I want to ask you today. You were awesome. That was great. There was some deal with you in the past about donuts. Was it you used to love to eat donuts, and you like, what was that about? I can't remember. Can you talk about that?
So the previous marketing company that I was working with, they were like, we got to brand you, and we want to like, you know, you always talk about loving food. Let's make it like a donut. And so every time you film, you are going to be like holding or eating a donut. So there's a really long backstory, and I won't go too far into depth with it, but I was expending all this energy, like filming and kind of doing things that I didn't truly feel like were aligning and like authentic to me. So I got really burnt out, like bad burnt out. And this marketing company, I still am like very close friends with both of them who run it. They're amazing people. I'm actually having JC on my next podcast episode in December, but we amicably like split ways because I was like, I'm overloaded. I can't do this. I feel like I'm just giving all and I'm not really being myself. And so then I hired this girl I actually grew up with. Like I've known her since 4th grade. She's a marketing biz girl. And she's like, I said, so I'm just really tired. And I feel like my business has like come to a screeching halt. I don't know what to do. And I said, what do I do? And she was like, just go back to being yourself. And I was like, that's it? Like, you don't have like a quota for me to do and like film videos? And she was like, no, just go back to doing you. She was like, you don't need to fucking rebrand. You are the brand. You've already branded yourself. Like I have no idea what you were doing with the donut stuff. And so that kind of is just how the donut played into that. Yeah.
Gotcha. You know, so where you're at right now, you have to at some point, you know, you look back and go, wow, I got to here. Right. What do you think the next like 4 or 5 years looks for you? I don't mean that as like an interviewee type resume. But no, what do you think your business looks like in the next 3 to 5 years?
I have crazy, massive goals for my business for the next 5 years, even for the next year. I mean, I want my book to be a bestseller. I want to have 5,000 to 10,000 women in the Facebook community group. My goal is to have 5 coaches underneath me. Right now I have 3. I never thought I would have a coach underneath me. You know, when I started, I was like at like 100 clients, and that was my max. I started really like feeling like the quality of my service to my clients, I was hard to keep up because there were so many. And I said, I can't take on anymore, but people still want to sign up. I don't want to turn them away. And my husband my husband is he owns his own business and he knows business. So he was like, no, you got to get coaches underneath you. And I was like, well, how am I going to do that? Like, I'm too much of a perfectionist. I want to make sure my clients are getting the best service. And how do I guarantee that if I just randomly hire people? Well, Dana came along like freaking knight in shining armor. She's like, this company none of this would be happening if I had not hired Dana. And now I have Mary as a coach. I have Lynn as a coach.
Lynn Sanity.
Lynn Sanity. She is fucking amazing.
So talk to us about the fads, keto, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, apple cider vinegar. Shall I go on? Cabbage soup diet. Talk to us about that.
I love talking about this because I was queen of the fad diets for so long and literally would spend a couple weeks doing it. And then I would crash and burn and just eat like a complete asshole because I was so deprived during those 2 weeks. And the funny thing is, women, really everybody, we want it fucking now. We don't want to wait. We've spent 20 years putting on 50 pounds and then we want it off in 30 days. Well, the problem is society is screaming at us every day. Oh, this weight wrap will 30 days. You'll have abs in 30 days. It's so not attainable, but we believe it because we want it. And we want to believe it. If we suffer for 30 days or 60 or 90, we'll do what we can. We'll suffer. Just give us that body. Well, it doesn't work like that. And it's never glamorous, but what works is consistency and time. So that's literally it. That's all you need to do. Pick something, stay in a calorie deficit, which by the way, every single diet fad, keto, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, all of them, they all have one thing in common, macros. You're in a calorie deficit. That's it. Just what you're eating is different and how you eat is different. That's why I try to break the mold open for everybody. And I'm like, stop listening to this crap. Just eat less than you burn. Doesn't matter what that looks like. It really doesn't. If macros.
Oh, no. There are people out there that genetics and where they were raised. And no, that cannot be true, Caroline. Caroline, Vivian, Matthias.
Matthias.
So Caroline, do you think that the reason that people don't do what you were talking about with the calorie deficient situation is because I think when they go with like one of those plans that you were talking about, if they follow what they say and they eat their food and they get into that culture and all that they then are going to follow the rules. Whereas if they are left to their own design, they probably won't. So I can see the benefits of both.
You hit the nail on the head, and that is pretty much what it's about. It's so much more than just following a diet. It is really like, do you believe in yourself or do you not believe in yourself yet? And that I didn't believe in myself. That's why I kept trying to tag on to one of those diets. I was like, well, just tell me what to do. I just want to change. But I didn't have the willpower. And it wasn't until, it took me a long time to transition from my crazy diet that I was on for years to macros. Cause I remember telling my trainer one time, I was like, I'm terrified to do macros. And he was like, why? Like, it's so easy. And I was like, he's like, if you want Oreos, you can have Oreos. I'm like, yeah, but that's the problem. If I know I can have Oreos, I'm going to eat the whole fucking sleeve. I'm not going to eat 2 and count it in my macros. Like I won't be good about it. I will just like let it go crazy. But now I don't. I've been doing it for a long time, but I still have a lot of clients that is what primarily I work with them week after week on, is that mindset of food is food. You're stronger than food. Don't let it rule your life. Like, do you have the cookie? I always say, have the cookie. Like it's a cookie. You're making it like life ending. It's a fucking cookie. If you want a cookie, eat it. You're an adult. But my rules are always eat it slow and think about what you're doing as you're doing it. If you've ever noticed when you've tried maybe to do a diet, or if you're trying to be good and then you cheat, and have you ever noticed how fast you eat? You are like, and this was me. I'd shovel food in at Mach speed. I wasn't even tasting it. And then I'm like, ugh, so mad at myself. Why'd I do that again? Why do I always do this? And I'm like, so really a simple solution is when you're indulging, you have to really tell yourself, kind of talk. This is just food. I'm enjoying it. I'm an adult, and eat it slow and enjoy it. 9 times out of 10, you'll finish that cookie, and that's just enough. You don't need any more. You don't need 10 more cookies. Like the one is fine.
What about fasting? Intermittent fasting? Is that bullshit too?
Not necessarily. I like, intermittent fasting. I think that it works in my experience, it works for some people really well, and other people, it just doesn't. It all depends on the chemistry of your body, is what I've kind of seen with intermittent fasting. Essentially, it kind of falls in the same category as if you're fasting for 16 hours of the day and you have an 8-hour eating window, it's easy to remain in that calorie deficit, which is pretty much what you're doing. There are benefits to fasting. So I have some clients that do it and love it. I tried it and my body did not respond well. Like it just didn't. My husband fasts all the time, 16 hours a day. So, and he loves it.
You know, you talk about calories. I made me think about our boy Randy Chafee, and Randy, he walks every day. And, you know, how old is Randy? 58, 59, 61, something like that.
Early 60s, right?
Yeah, he'll sometimes walk 10, 12 miles a day.
Wow.
As he's working and making phone calls, and he just walks. And you know what he does? And it's pretty funny because he is all about calories and stuff. He knows how much extra he needs to walk to drink a bottle of wine.
Right.
But it's simple and it's true. It's real. I will tell you, because I have a Fitbit, right? And Tim, you had one, and it tracks, you know, and I'm following Tim's lead, and Randy's lead in walking 6 miles a day, right? And if I hit that 6 miles, the difference between me having a normal day and then walking the 6 miles is the difference at the end of the day, according to my Fitbit, of about 700 calories.
Wow.
So if I burn the 700, I can in essence cause that deficit, or I can look at it and go, well, now I can eat that.
Right.
Which, you know, it is amazing to me, because people want to make this into, you know, where they were born and what their DNA is, and I can't be thin, and it is. I've said that for a long time. It's about calories in, calories gone. You know, it's no different than an engine in a car. We kind of touched on it. You said regarding anybody can join the Facebook community, but I do want to talk about the actual nuts and bolts of what does it cost, and what do they get for that? Because I know they get you do a lot of meal planning for people,
yes,
right? So what does that look like, and what does that cost?
So essentially what we do is we have like a meal plan template that we put together, because we teach every single one of our clients. We have a course on the website when they sign up, how to track macros. And that's the first place we kind of urge them to go, because when they watch that course, then they have that knowledge. So they can follow the meal plan template that we give them, which is essentially like, you know, you got a protein to choose at each meal, a fat and a carb. And there's a bunch of options. It's not like two different things. Like, we try to give them as many options as possible to make it easy for them. And they can follow that template until they get comfortable with tracking on their own. Then when they are tracking on their own, they're free. Like, you eat what you want when you want. If you want to eat twice a day, you can do that. If you want to eat 18 times a day, you can do that. It's literally just, did you hit those numbers? So we've got some different coaching packages, because my coaching package is different from all of my coaches. We're actually running an amazing deal like right now for $159 a month. That's like our lowest that we've run in a long time. We're going to run it through Thursday, and that is for the CWC coach package for 6 months. My pricing for like a 3-month package is $385 a month, but that includes basically the meal plan template, access to the website, check-ins every single week. Like, my clients check in with me weekly. How did you do? And it's not, hey, did you hit your stuff? Great, good job, keep going. It's so much more than that. We work on journaling. They meditate. They're like literally writing down things they want to change out of their life. And then we discuss that every single week and I keep them on plan to reach their goals. And we really work on self-love more than like, let's get you the fittest body on planet Earth. Like, I want them to like their body now so that you'll like it when you get that body that you want, because I had that body that I wanted and I still wasn't happy. So
yeah. Well, I mean, not to put him on the spot, but Wes just sent me a private message because he loves journaling and snuggling and all that sort of stuff. You know, do you accept males into the group?
I'm not in the Facebook community, but I do have male clients. I might make
Sorry,
it.
Wes. Sorry,
Don't make fun of the fat guy. Come on.
Can you talk about? There's two things. One's a nutrition question that I'll ask after, but depression and weight loss.
Okay.
Talk about, you know, the tie to that, and is there a tie to that?
I believe that there is a tie. And I was going to interject this a minute ago, but we switched. It is calories in, calories out, but I do want to just interject, like, there are a couple things that, and I've had it happen with like, I think 3 out of maybe 600 clients, but you know, we work on their stuff and no change. Their body doesn't change. And they're like, I'm not cheating. Why am I not changing? Well, one of them has breast implants, and I'm just now we're both together. This was 3 years ago when I was coaching her. She's just now like, oh, it's my implants. And I'm like, yep, that was it all along. Like I would take her calories up to 3,000 just to see what would happen. Her body wouldn't change. I'd take them down to 1,800. Her body wouldn't change. So it didn't matter what she did. Wow. Nothing changed because her body was literally spending every ounce of effort it had day to day just to survive. And my body did the same thing for the past year. I was eating all over the place. And my coach was like, why is your body just not, it's doing nothing. It was so weird. But hormones play a role as well. If your hormones are out of whack, your body, that's kind of the factor of, can you lose weight? If your hormones are jacked up, it doesn't matter what you do. You can eat raw food. You could eat nothing. You could do every diet in the book. You will not lose weight because that dictates if you are able to lose weight. And if your hormones are jacked, you won't. So that does play a role.
Right.
Oh, you
were talking about depression in weight loss, right, Tim? Was that your question?
Right.
Depression, that does affect it. It can sometimes go either way. So if someone is like clinically depressed, the first thing I would say is hire a licensed therapist. I am not like, I'm the first person to say, I'm not all the wheelhouses. I'm not a therapist. If you are truly dealing with depression, you need to hire a licensed therapist and work through that, because that's problem number one. That's the root. You can try to lose weight all you want. You can try to get a body all you want. That's not going to fix what's really going on. You have to address this first. And then what's ironic is once you address that, the rest of it kind of takes care of itself on its own. You don't even really have to try. So, but depression can make people gain weight.
Yeah.
Typically in women, that's what happens is we hold weight around our abdomen when we're stressed out or depressed about stuff, whether we're eating or not. And it can cause you to lose weight because people who are depressed don't really eat very often. So anyway,
yeah. Okay. The other question was a small question is I'm a partner in a company called the Genovex Health and Wellness Network up here in New England. And they put together it's a brick and mortars trying to compete with, the chains like Planet Fitness. And they put together a thing called several years ago called the 90-day Commit to Get Fit program. And it's around nutrition. And they always said, when you shop around the outside of the grocery store. Can you talk a little bit about that and why that's important for people?
That is important. And because when you're shopping around the outside edge, you're getting all of like the real food, which is like, the meats and the eggs and the vegetables and the fruits and all that stuff is always on the outer edge. In the middle, it's all processed foods. Now, I always say that all food is equal. We don't really judge any food or label it good or bad. But I will say that in regards to your health, it is better to eat whole foods that aren't processed. I feel like there is such an easy way to obtain a balance of both. And that is kind of what my business is based on, because I never could do that, like all organic, no package, no process. I could never do that. I just was, I don't know. I just wanted like a real, like, give me a real approach. And no coach I ever had gave me a real approach. It was like, eat this, don't eat the Doritos. And I'm like, but I want the Doritos sometimes. Can't I sometimes have them? Like, it's got to be a moderation thing. And so that's kind of how I lead with my coaching. Like, yeah, I want you guys to be healthy, but at the same time, like, don't think you can't eat something because it's in the processed food section. Like, so.
That's good advice.
Random thought from a food guy for a long time, but or in the food industry for a long time. The grocery stores actually love it when you shop on the outside too, because it's a lot more profitable business for them than the processed stuff that's all in the aisles. By the way, big question: what are you insecure about?
Not being like the absolute best all the time, like I was talking about earlier, like that 100%. I've been struggling a lot lately, with just not physically. My body still, I went to the gym a couple weeks ago because I was 8 weeks post-op. and I do my balancing handstands that I take a lot of fucking pride in because it's hard as shit. And I've been working on it since
I was doing that earlier. I was doing that earlier, right before we got on. Yeah.
Wait. No, she's talking about a handstand, Tim, not getting out of bed and just standing. By the way, while you're talking about this, and you're talking about being in your insecurity,
yes.
I actually have written down talk about handstands because it was something you put a lot of work into doing. Yes. So kind of talk about that insecurity if you want to continue on that.
Yeah.
But then talk about the handstands. So I thought it was pretty cool to watch you. I've got to witness it on social media as you were trying and trying and trying. Now I think you could handstand for like 18 hours. So go ahead.
No, when COVID started, and I'll talk, this will bring me into the insecurities, but like when COVID started, you know, I was still kind of realizing that I couldn't work out. I couldn't do even the at-home stuff. I was just, if I would work out, I felt like I had the flu for like a week and no one understood it. My trainers didn't get it. My husband didn't get it. And I'm like, look, I'm not a hypochondriac. I fucking love working out. It's my life. Do you think I would do this on purpose? I want to just work out, but my body is like dying inside. And so I started doing handstands in place of workouts and I seemed to do just fine. Well, when I first started, you know, you probably saw my first one, like I went to go up and I did like 2 hands and I fell and I was like, well, this is going to be hard. And so I worked my way up. I started walking with the handstands and I was just shooting for like, how many steps can I get? So I got like 30 walks. Then I don't remember what it came to, but I was like, let me see if I can just balance on my hands and see if I can do it. And it was so hard and took me so long to get the form down to be like perfectly straight. You got to tuck your pelvis and like make everything tight and point your toes. It's hard. And so I hit 1 minute holding a handstand for 1 minute, like right before my explant surgery. And I was so proud of myself. And I knew I would have to wait a while to do those again. Well, so at 8 weeks post-op, like I kind of got the clearance from my nurse. She was like, you should be fine. So I did them. And then I was like deadlifting again. And I have been down for the count. Today and yesterday are like the first days that I have felt pretty much good again. I've been bad for 2 weeks, just no energy again. It kind of took me back down and it scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh my God, like some of my symptoms were coming back. And I went to my surgeon and he was like, I think the handstands were probably a little too much for 8 weeks, considering I sliced you open like a fish and you're like doing a full extension, holding your whole body weight up. Like that was probably too much. So I overdid it, but that's leading into the insecurity. Like, I'm like, I just want to perform and like be the best and like work really hard. And I have all these goals and my body right now is like, fuck you. Like, I don't care about your goals. Like get some other goals. So it's been really, really hard. That is one of my insecurities, is not feeling like I'm doing enough to motivate not just my clients, but everybody. So
yeah.
Note to self. I'm sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
Well, no problem. I said you're hard on yourself, no doubt.
Yes.
Well, note to self, Wes. You need to tuck your pelvis. That's what I've been telling you the whole time. And you haven't.
Probably need to stop drinking milkshakes too. So.
Yeah, that doesn't help. Tuck your pelvis, Wes.
Tuck your pelvis.
I know you're a big fan of 80s, 90s movies. Do you have a top 5?
Top 5. Breakfast Club is definitely in the top 5. Days of Thunder. Let's see. What are some other ones? I'm trying to think of my favorites. Top Gun. I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't seen Pretty in Pink.
Oh,
I know.
Wow. That's a miss.
This is a running joke with like my best friend who is like an 80s cult music movie phenomenon. He knows all of them. And he's like, you can't call yourself an 80s movies buff if you've never seen Pretty in Pink. And
true.
If You Leave is my favorite song.
Is it?
It really is.
That's a great song.
How about Better Off Dead? Remember that movie? Better Off Dead?
Great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great movie. By the way, the other thing I wanted to point out that you said was you talked about tucking your pelvis. And then the other thing you said was you haven't felt good until the last couple of days, which ironically was leading up to the show. So the penalty box equals feeling good.
It does.
It does.
When you go to the dictionary under penalty box, it has a picture of nothing but health.
Yeah. And so I'm pulling all that from you guys today.
What are you reading right now? I'm always intrigued by that. Are you a reader? Are you listening to anything, podcast, anything like that?
Right now, currently I was reading my book that I've been reading well, off and on for 10 years. It's called From Panic to Power. It's one of my favorites because when I started realizing that I had anxiety about 15 years ago, and it started kind of interfering in my life, I didn't really know how to handle it. I talked earlier about like, I never really had developed good coping mechanisms. So I remember I don't remember how I got this book. I don't even remember if someone bought it for me, but I got this book and I read it and I felt like this lady was talking directly to me. And I remember it was the first book I read that I took something from and was like, wow, that was actually helpful to my life. It wasn't just like, try to get over it, have a great attitude. It was literally like, if you feel, and this is for people who have, I know a lot of people are struggling right now with depression and anxiety. It specifically said, and it's changed my life, when you feel like you're having a really bad anxiety attack, like you can't breathe and you feel like you're suffocating, people always say, oh my God, why is this happening? I got to make it stop. Well, we resist it. What you need to do is accept that this is your body's natural response to a stressful situation. And once you accept it, ironically, it really does kind of start to go away and it gets better. And I remember I never forgot that. And so when I was dealing with all that anxiety before my explant, I dug that book out of my attic in the garage and I started reading it, and it was fucking weird. I had all this shit highlighted in pink. And I was like, man, this is so good. Like, how crazy is it to read something 15 years ago? And it still applies to my life, like right now. It was just, I don't know. It was just really nice to read someone else who had gone through all of it. And then now she's helping people like just accept it. Like it's your body's natural response and you're not going to die.
The last question I've got, and then I'll let Timmy finish up with whatever he's got, but how many animals do you have out there?
I don't know, because my husband is an animal hoarder now, and that's like his favorite thing to do. And he wants a giraffe, an actual giraffe. And I'm like,
is that legal in Oklahoma?
It is. Oh, we'll have one probably in the next year. I can't even believe I'm saying those words, but my husband is crazy. He loves having all these farm animals, which is like, that's kind of that's his passion. So like where my business and my, CWC that's my passion. Like this ranching thing, like he loves it. So we have, I don't know if you know what a Percheron is. It's one of those massive horses, kind of similar to a Clydesdale. So we have 2 Percherons, a Clydesdale, 2 mini horses, 2 tortoises, a camel, a zebra, a lot of Highland cows, donkeys, dogs. We have everything.
Yes.
When I run, I'm in the Clydesdale League. So
that's right. Tuck your pelvis when you run, Wes.
At the finish line, do they give you one of those feed bags that go over your neck? My last question is a question and a hope. Are you going to get another dog? And I hope you do, because I watched that entire thing and my heart really bled for you, because you give, like you said, they're your kids, and I just think you're a great dog mom. And it would be, from the father of a couple of rescues, it would be a shame that some dog didn't get a chance to love on you like you love on them.
I love that you are a rescuer. That's what we are too. And we have 2 other rescues right now. But yes, the answer is a resounding yes. I don't know when I'll be ready. I definitely miss, even right now, I said it the other day, I was like, I know it's real cold outside, but like, I want another puppy. Like I've always loved little dogs. And I know you watched the episode, so you know the story. But, a lot of people still don't know what happened. And because I didn't really go into detail, but I mean, it was very quick and out of nowhere. And so we didn't have literally time to react. We think that she had a massive heart attack, and it was the worst thing I've ever had to go through, just feeling very helpless. And she was my child. I mean, she was like I would go home and talk to her. She sat on the couch with me every night. She snuggled with me in bed every night. Like she was always with me. And so it was gut wrenching, to say the least. So I definitely will for sure at some point I want 2. I know my husband's like, you want 2? Like, yeah.
You're getting a giraffe, dude. You're getting a giraffe.
Yeah, you're getting a giraffe. I'm getting 2 little dogs.
Do you carry that puppy pillow with you everywhere you go?
I don't.
Is it there in the room?
It's in my bed every single night, and I have it behind my other pillow. So, yeah, that was given to me as a birthday present like 1 week before she passed. And my friend who made it was like, I feel terrible for making that pillow. I'm like, why do you feel terrible? Like, you had no idea. I love that pillow. And she's like, I don't know. I just feel bad.
Yeah, well, keep us in the loop. That'd be great. That's all I got. That's all.
Wes, any final thoughts from you, Mr. Wyatt?
Nope, I'm good.
Well, Caroline, before we wrap it up, thank you so much for being on. Number one. Number two, how can people get a hold of you when they watch this on Friday?
When people can get a hold of me on Facebook, my Instagram handle is Caroline C. Matthias. My website is caroline.fit. Email is hello@caroline.fit. So that's really easy to remember. But most people just DM me on Instagram or Facebook, and then they go to the website. Cool.
I think you should make a T-shirt that says "Community with Caroline," and on the back it says "Tuck the Pelvis."
I actually will make a T-shirt just for you.
I would proudly wear one. So, well, guys, this has been great. Next Tuesday, we've got, again, Rev Ciencio on, who is a great guy. He's got like 3 or 4 Instagram accounts. One's like Fun with Fries and has over 400,000 followers.
Ooh, I'm going to that one.
Yeah, he's big time. So we'll enjoy that. And then the week after, we've got Tim. Who do we have the week after that?
I believe we have Kevin Bobbitt from iRacing, and then the week after that, or near Christmas, we've got the 2 hockey players actually coming into the penalty box. So.
Yeah, we've got Rich Falar and Kim Hubbs, who may knock the crap out of each other. There's no telling. So, hey, this has been fun. Caroline, you have been awesome. Wes, you have been amazing as always. His services are available if anybody wants to go live. He is the best. He is amazing, and he will from now on tuck the pelvis. Thanks to Caroline. So y'all have a great day. Have a great Friday and be incredible.
Thanks, guys.